Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening. How are you all doing? My name is Amanda Ellis, and a very warm welcome to my channel. So this video is going to be an exploration, I'm hearing, with regards to the landscape and the energy and the support available for May 2024. We are going to be asking the guides for their messages. You will probably have noticed that there is one particular energy that I have here sitting on my desk, which is the energy of Lord Ganesh. Indeed, as well as Ganesh, the animal totem symbol for May that I'm being given is the elephant, and we'll talk about that shortly. I also would like to give you 2 crystals for the month ahead, which I feel are going to be particularly beneficial to wear, to use, to meditate with, etc. So obviously it's not exhaustive. There are plenty of crystals all of the time that are helpful, but I'm being given 2 crystals for whatever reason for this month ahead. So I'll tell you what they are in a moment. We will also obviously use some cards. I want to bring in the energy of the wood dragon again, which we were talking about at the start of this year. Of course, the Chinese year of the wood dragon. We do have a wood dragon spray, which is linked into luck, success, growth, and power. So we'll tap into the wisdom of that as well. And of course, Lord Ganesh is very much associated with the energy of luck. And I don't know about you, but I feel as though April was a tough month for many. Certainly 2024 is quite tough. And I feel as though we're due a bit of a lucky streak. Now, I'm not saying that May is going to be completely smooth sailing. We do have Mars in Aries, which is definitely going to pop its head up and down through the month with random things. And we'll pull some cards, actually, I think, just on Mars in Aries. Let me just write that down. I mean, just because I write it down doesn't mean that I'm even going to remember to do it. But at least I've given it a stab that I might be able to remember. What else? I don't know. I just want to dive straight into it and see how we're all doing. Okay, let's start first with a couple of crystals. So one of my daughters is a Taurian, so I do know that the stone for Taurus is emerald and the green ray. So we'll start with emerald, but then I'm going to give you the other one that I've just been given. But we all know emerald is associated with Taurus. I hope I'm right here. I must be, because I've bought her emerald jewellery before. Let's just have a reminder of what emerald is all about, because remember that this May we are basically moving from the energy of Taurus to Gemini. And we're definitely going to feel that shift this year. But equally, I feel as though the Taurian energy is really going to build. And of course, we have got a new moon in Taurus on May the 8th. So it feels as though it's a month which is split into not quite equal half parts, but it definitely feels a month of 2. I'm being shown a play, with an interval in the middle. So, and sometimes when you go and see a play, the first act and the second act can be very different from each other. So I'm feeling that it's a month with 2 acts within it, with an interval within it as well. Anyhow, emerald. Let's see what emerald is about. Emerald links into the energy of the heart. As I say on every single video, it's about trying to come back to the heart as much as we can, all of the time, every day, in every way. So emerald connects you into your heart chakra. And I'm just reading here from a book by, who is this by? Cassandra Eason. And there's just a bit of blurb, a very short bit, but this is interesting. It says that emeralds were considered a symbol of eternal life in ancient Egypt. And emerald mines existed near the Red Sea coast as early as 1300 BC. And they were later called Cleopatra's mines because of her love of the stone. So it says, wear or carry an emerald out of sight near your heart for attracting love, especially in later life. It's also good to help call back an estranged love, to speak the words you wish to say as you hold the emerald close to your lips, and then seal it in an envelope, and if appropriate, send it to your love with a message. That's really rather lovely, isn't it? But anyway, yeah, it's a stone of the heart. The crystal, though, that I'm feeling more for May is Bloodstone. I'm being given Bloodstone. Now, this is quite interesting because one of the legends around Bloodstone is linked into the rewards that come after sacrifice. In the same way, and we'll talk about Lord Ganesh and the story behind his arrival, there is also a degree of sacrifice there, but equally then the acknowledgement of the power that he held. But anyway, let's park Ganesh for one moment with respect. Let's just talk about Bloodstone, because it says not only is Bloodstone very good for, I don't know if my camera's going to pick up what Bloodstone even looks like, but it can come in all sorts of different shades. I've also got one that's quite blue. One of you sent me this actually, a glass vial full of Bloodstone chips, and I've got a little Bloodstone half moon, but I've also got it in tumblestone format as well. But Bloodstone, believed to provide protection against evil spirits and bring good fortune. So again, we're back to the energy of luck. And it says that the historical significance of the stone is that in medieval Europe, Bloodstone was associated with the crucifixion of Jesus, and it was believed that the gemstone was created when drops of his blood fell on the earth and solidified. I never knew that, did you? Never knew that. But anyway, it's a very magical stone. And again, going back to the Cassandra Eason book, it says it's also very helpful as a mother goddess stone, helps us with misunderstandings or difficulties that we might have with our own mother. But I also want to say with Mother Earth, helpful for detoxing, helpful for understanding the emotional issues underlying why we need to detox in the first place. And this was an interesting thing here. It says it's also very helpful for helping you to tune into the power of the weather. For example, winds to bring change or rain to wash away sorrow. Also for recalling past lives. I will do a longer video. I'm not going to do it in this one I'm just going to call it the weather. It has to be said that today is Beltane, 1st of May, beginning of, the summer months. But it's okay at the moment, we've got a big storm going to whip in this evening with potential thunderstorms, lightning, a lot of rain. And I think there's an energy right now in our world where we're feeling as though we're victims to the weather without getting into all the whys and wherefores of why it's happening. It's easy to feel as though, oh God, no, another grey day, or yet more rain, or yet more sun, whatever is out of balance in your part of the world. So it does feel as though Bloodstone is being given to us as a tool to unlock our ability to be able to, I'm hearing bend with the weather, okay? It's not control the weather, it's bending with the weather, being flexible, being able to adapt, being able to survive, being able to thrive. I'm looking up there and there's a little seagull just sitting on top of my neighbour's roof, and there's just something about the birds which are able to flee or able to, the birds are linked back to prehistoric times. They've always found a way to evolve through every changing landscape in our world. Anyhow, that's enough on the weather for this video. I don't want it to take over the subject, the video, but I'm giving you Bloodstone and I'm giving you Emerald. Right, so let's now talk about Lord Ganesh. And I already pulled this card off camera, but I knew I was going to talk about Ganesh. It's a beautiful one from a deck by Stacey DeMarco. Hopefully you can see that, Stacey DeMarco. And it shows Lord Ganesh. And it's very much linked into leadership, which we'll talk about as well, leadership and luck. But I would like to just refresh our memories with regards to the whole legend, story, myth, whatever you want to call it, with regards to Ganesh. So Ganesh, the Hindu god Ganesh, was shaped from the earth by the goddess Parvati. And when her husband Shiva returned after a long time away from home, the first thing he saw was Ganesh with Parvati. And in his anger, he attacked the young man, severing his head. Because Ganesh has the body of a man, but the head of an elephant. It says Parvati then revealed who Ganesh was, and Shiva sent his soldiers to return with the head of any sleeping being that was facing the north. An elephant was found, and its head was attached to the body of Ganesh. I didn't know this. The life of Ganesh was restored, and Shiva declared that from then on, this elephant-headed young man would always be loved by the community, and his name invoked as a joyful blessing prior to the beginning of major undertakings, such as businesses, developments, and any kind of project. It would be Ganesh who made sure no obstacle would be placed in the way of righteous actions, but it was also he who placed obstacles to encourage people to take different directions. So sometimes when you're being blocked, it may very well be Ganesh's doing, because he's actually trying to prevent you from going down a wrong path. So yeah, he's one of the most loved of all the Hindu gods. Then in this book, with this deck, it talks a little bit about elephants in general. And it's interesting because it talks about the fact that they are matriarchal and they're led by an experienced older matriarch. And she holds the landscape memory for the group, often being able to lead them to water in times of scarcity, and will be the organizer of defense if the group is threatened. There's a few things in that I'd like to pick up. This thing about leading them to water in times of scarcity. Without wanting to frighten anybody, another subject that I would like to look at very soon is what is going on with our crops around our world. And I can only speak from a UK perspective, but I know that what I'm saying resonates with many other countries, but it might be manifesting in slightly different ways. Again, the whys and wherefores with regards to why crops are failing, can we just park that for a moment? Let's just try to deal with the end result. So I did say on Instagram yesterday that in the UK, for example, they're saying that the potato crop probably is going to fail this year. The fields are so waterlogged from so much water that we've had for months, and the grey skies, lack of sunshine, etc. The potatoes are rotting in their field. And it's going to lead to a scarcity. Okay, so two things with regard to this. Ganesh, the elephant as a power animal totem, is reminding us to listen to the matriarchs in our world. Mums know best type energy, grandmothers know best. It's going to the wisdom of the elder women in our tribe, that they actually have something worthwhile to say with regards to preserving food, storing food, looking after food, just having something put by for, excuse the pun, a rainy day. We don't need any more rainy days, but you get my drift. I will also say, in case I forget to say it anywhere else, that I'm also picking up with regards to the potato failure, certainly in my part of the world. I'm being led to Ireland, and I'm being shown the potato famine, which of course was a crisis, hundreds of years ago. And as a result of that, many Irish people, of course, emigrated to America to escape the famine. I'm not saying we're going to have famine again, but there's something coming up here in terms of a cycle being repeated, but this time, a bit like Joseph in the Bible, we can, being pre-warned is being pre-armed, basically. So there's no need to panic as long as you realise that there are going to be shortages with regards to certain crops because of what's going on. So it's taking precautions now for the winter months ahead, for example, or whatever time period we're talking about. But yeah, I like the fact that even in the message with regards to the elephant, it's coming up in terms of the elephant holds the landscape memory for the group, being able to lead them to water in times of scarcity, and will be the organizer of defense if the group is threatened. So watch out for the older women of the world standing up, and I'm hearing organising, mobilising forces. I'm being shown in my country, for example, and I'm sure in many other countries, of course, this isn't exclusive to older women, but it's just a template. It's like you can be younger, but you can hold the template of an older, wiser being. Food banks and, people who are organising community efforts to feed the town. It's that type of thing, okay? So, so we have the elephant coming in, but equally the elephant is also very much to do with leadership. So where are you going to be leading yourself this month? Now, I'm being shown you as a multifaceted soul, but what has happened to many of us is that we've allowed ourselves to become fragmented. There are many reasons why your being might be fragmented, and it is a frequency thing a lot of the time. It's also to do with what you're occupying yourself with, what you're doing, what you're reading, what you're eating, what you're drinking. Talked yesterday a little bit on Instagram about, for example, alcohol, and the fact that I think as our frequency increases, it's not that you can't ever have a drink unless you've got a problem with it, but be aware that absolutely without shielding yourself and without proper protection, that a lot of alcohol, certainly, this would also be the true for any drug and smoking. It can lead to little snags, is what I'm hearing. Snags. I know people often talk about holes in the aura, but I'm just seeing snags in the aura, because I'm assuming that most people that are watching me are fairly tuned in with spiritual hygiene anyway. And as a result, if you pick up a drink, it's not that you're, rolling around in the gutter type energy. Obviously, if you're at that place, then your aura is going to be in a much worse state than somebody who's trying to maintain, healthy chakras, for example, healthy aura, trying to walk the talk, all the type of things we talk about on this channel. But just be aware, what I'm being shown is a fragmented self, fragmented parts of you. This is also to do, as I say, in terms of where you're putting your attention. We don't realise that what we focus on, we become. And if you're focusing on something, really fixated on something, there's actually a part of yourself that almost sort of fragments off. And ideally, of course, every month, what you're needing to do, what Metatron's showing me, is hoovering it all back. Hoovering would be a vacuuming, sweeping, whatever term you want to use, sweeping it all back, vacuuming it all back. It's like see yourself a bit like a suction. So it's like parts of you can splinter off, which can be positive as well, because there's a part of you that's going off exploring. That's what happens in astral a lot of the time. I'm going to have a look over here, I'm going to look there, hopefully safely that you're doing this stuff. But you're putting your attention here, your focus here, but make sure that you're whole is what I'm trying to say. Because ideally, what you're wanting to do is lead your whole self through this month ahead. I'm seeing lots of people, it's as though they're trying to charge ahead and they're trying to make progress, but it's almost as though there's only a third of them actually present at any one time. I mean, can we just stop and maybe rehear what I just said? If you think about the fact that only a third of you might be present at any one time, that for whatever reason, you're not 100% present. You're not 100% focused maybe on one thing or the main thing or the priority, etc. I mean, you can have more than one thing, but you get what I'm trying to say. So something here about leadership and taking your whole self forward. Okay, let's pull a couple of cards at this point. And apologies, I do need to get this. I'm just going to pause my camera, and it's perfect while I've been distracted. Hold on. Okay, sorry, that was my daughter texting, but it's very appropriate to what I'm just talking about, which is in terms of trying not to be fragmented off, keep your focus. So what she's just received is obviously a scam email from a company pretending to be, you know, HMRC, you know, so you've got a refund of taxes type thing. And she's saying, is this real, Mum? Is it a scam or is it real? So I've just said it's a scam, don't click on it. But the point is, that's exactly a good example of what we're facing in our world, isn't it? It's as though what's real, what's not real, what's trying to grab our attention, what's trying to take our energy, as well as probably our money if you click on the link, that type of thing. Right. Let's pull some cards. I did pull one off camera, which was very appropriate for today, May Day. We had the Ace of Pentacles. Nice, fresh new starts. And what I want to say with regards to fresh new starts, let's keep the Ace of Pentacles out. Sorry, the Ace of Pentacles, is let us wish, let us basically shower blessings and good wishes on any new start that you are trying to implement or somebody else is trying to implement. Let us not self-sabotage ourselves, and let's not sabotage other people's efforts when they're trying to change and try something new. I mean, even, you know, as a parent, you often see this. It's like, I'm not really sure that job's right for you, or that relationship's right for you, or whatever it is, you know? But sometimes you just got to keep stum, because you still need to just wish them well, because there's something they're meant to learn from that job, from that experience, etc. Obviously with safety boundaries in place. Yeah, get my drift. Okay, let's have 5 cards then for the month ahead, please. And let's call in Archangel Metatron. Okay, we've got I think that's Metatron just having a bit of a sense of humour, but you know, it's also very appropriate because, as I said, let's call in Archangel Metatron. We had the Emperor come out, so he, you know, Metatron is a bit like the Emperor, and we've also got the Magician. He's both archetypes, but of course, what I always teach with regards to Metatron is that he's a bridge back to yourself. So if he stands for, we've also got the Ace of Swords here. If he stands for the energy of being the magician, okay, the magician is the one who has all of the tools on the table that they could possibly need to bring in what they need for the next stage of their life. And if you're also the Emperor that has the stability and the foundation and the everything in order, basically, brilliant. You know, so if Metatron can have those qualities, he's saying so can you. So it's you becoming the Emperor, you becoming the Magician, and you holding the Ace of Swords. I'm realizing we've got the Emperor, we've got the Magician, and it's either side of those two very powerful archetypal cards. We've got 2 aces. We've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords. Ace of Pentacles is the energy of the Earth, which is Taurus. And Ace of Swords is the energy of air. So we have Gemini. So that's perfect. I love these cards. It's as though we are going to be straddling these energies, as I said at the start of this video, 2 acts. Act 1, seeing out what Taurus season's going to be about with that beautiful new moon in Taurus on the 8th. Then we've got an interval, and then we flow into Gemini and air. So, and in between it, we've got the Emperor and the Magician. Okay, let's pull one more card. Before I do though, I tell you what, there's a lot of elemental activity this year. This year, yes, but I was going to say this month. The Emperor in this particular deck, hopefully you can see the card. He is holding a cube, and in the cube are the elements. We have fire, we have water, we have earth. We have whichever one I forgot to say, yeah? So he's holding the elements. The Magician card in this deck, can you see it has an energy about it, which is, there's movement. It reminds me of the movement of air, wind, gales. The Ace of Swords in this card has the thunder, it has the lightning, it has the water. And of course the Ace of Pentacles has the earth and the green shoot. So a lot of elemental energy. So to help us with that, to feel at one with that, I'm feeling the energy of Merlin, actually. I'm feeling a lot of energy of Merlin to help us navigate this month as well. To be able to understand the messages that water is bringing, to help understand the messages that the sun is bringing, the light is bringing, the earth events are bringing. You know, if we look at what happened in Dubai with all that water, there's a clear message there from Mother Nature, which is, don't mess with me. If you mess with me, there will be repercussions beyond a certain point. I will only tolerate it up to a certain point. And that's not conspiracy theory talking. You know, it's all very well known that cloud seeding takes place in, well, many places, but Dubai are on record of saying, yes, we do this. It's no big secret. Mother Earth was not happy with whatever the brew was that they came up with a few days before those terrible floods. So what's the meaning of these watery events? What's the meaning of these events linked into elements? We're going to see a lot of elemental energy. Let me just tune into this. I'm being shown the animals. I'm being shown ants for some reason. I know ants are to do with teamwork, but I'm being shown just great big mounds of ants and bees and those two in particular, bees and ants and elephants and mice. Okay, mice goes with Ganesh as well. So it's this thing about all creatures, big and small. I'm being shown a kaleidoscope now. You know, the old-fashioned kaleidoscope that used to look down and you'd see a picture and it would be all different, you know, colours and shapes and patterns. But what I'm seeing through this kaleidoscope is just the elemental kingdom in all of its different flavours and textures and colours and different qualities of water and different qualities of air and different qualities of cloud and different qualities of earth, and then all of the different animals upon it as well. It's as though, it feels as though there's great teaching if only we stop to really notice what our animal friends are trying to bring to our attention and what the elements are trying to bring to our attention this month. It's very shamanic. It's very much of the earth. I'm being taken back here now to the indigenous ones, native ones, and just sitting. If I'm realising now, I woke up this morning and I know it's a terrible habit and I need to stop doing it. But the first thing I did was turn my phone on to check my messages. I know. But let's be honest, how many of you are guilty of it? probably quite a lot. But the point is, the first thing I saw when I turned this phone on was some sort of study in the news, which was, or I don't know what it was, some article, and it was talking about the worst thing you can do is put your phone on first thing in the morning and look at the blue screen, the blue light. And what you need to do is you need to go out and sit and in the light, the morning light. And we're all inside too much. I mean, it's difficult because we all have to work. I have to sit at this desk to do my job. I can't do it walking around the streets the whole time. But there has to somehow be a middle way. You've got to get yourself out in the light, the sunlight, or the cloud light, or the starlight, whatever it is, you know, to help your body, to bring it all back into rhythm and help with sleep and all of that. So something about understanding the energy of day and night, because it's all starting to merge into one for many people. And now I'm being shown, and this isn't me, but people working way too long into the night, burning the candle at both ends, not respecting the fact that the body needs sleep. I'm also now being shown people who are flying, you know, across the world. And what happens, of course, is you go from one country where it's 9 o'clock in the morning, and then you've lost a day or you've lost 6 hours. And it's like we're really screwing with our body's biorhythms. And I don't know why it's coming up in May, but I'm just feeling as though I need to bring this message through this May. Maybe because today is Beltane and it's the start of summer where I am. And it's like, appreciate the daylight, get out in it. But equally, if you're the other side of the world and you're coming into autumn, appreciate that those colours and those textures and that light. But just get out in the light is what I'm hearing. Get out in the light. It's as though, I don't feel as though we're going to have the blackout this month in terms of the 3 months of darkness or whatever it's supposed to be. I'm not particularly into that anyway. I'm not feeling that, but it's almost as though it would be really good for us to have a detox. It'd be really good for us to switch off the cameras, switch off the phones, and just go and play with the mice and look at the ants. And what's the day when all the flying ants, you know, descend and are everywhere? And you know, it's all a bit weird, that, isn't it? It's a phenomenon, and it's like, witness it. You know, it happens every year. No one takes any notice of it. Notice the flowers coming into bloom. It really is. It's like wake up and smell the coffee type energy is what I'm picking up for May. Give yourself a break, I'm realising, is what I'm hearing. Give yourself a break. But this isn't necessarily a holiday. It's just give yourself a break from this technological world, this world of overstimulation, and come back to nature, come back to the elements. And it's an excuse to think that you can't do that if you're living in a city. You can still open the windows. Nature is all around us. Yes, it's more abundant in some parts of the world. Of course it is, in terms of the vistas, the views, the etc., the waterfalls, the mountains, the countryside. But nature is still there for every single person on this planet. The opening of a window and just feeling the fresh air on your face will revive you, will recharge you more than anything else, getting out in the fresh air. I know I'm going on and on and on, but I could keep going on and on and on. They're really ramming this message home. Okay, right. I also feel there's something here about let's get the world in order, you know, Mother Earth in order. The elements are out of order. I've done some work in the last few videos where I've been talking about timeline jumps, and I feel as though we've been out of alignment. We've had moments out of time, and that has affected us as human beings. It affected the horses in London, but it's like, okay, so let's try to now find some stability again. And if you think about the energy of an elephant, you know, I mean, that when that creature moves, it moves slowly, but it moves with such force, such strength. You get out of its way. You get out of its way. The presence of it, the way that it is so linked to Mother Earth. It's just the connection it has with the earth I think there's something about, it says in the Oracle deck, actually, I read it earlier, there's something linked into when an elephant gives, a cry or makes the noise that it makes to be heard by other elements. The sound, the vibration of it just travels through the earth, and another elephant can hear that miles away. It's just, there's something here about the elephant's power and us needing to be like that, to really root and ground and be present. And when we say something or when we do something, let it be of a resonance which matters. That there is somebody on the other end as well who's going to hear it. Because I'm hearing now, this feels like more like Metatron coming in. It's as though there's a lot of hot air out there. There's a lot of people making a lot of noise and saying a lot of stuff, but no one's even listening to it. Or if they are, they're not doing anything with it. Make your words count. Make your words count. And so that also means don't waste them. Don't waste them. Don't, going back to the whole energy of social media, stop giving your energy to people who are arguing the toss with you. Who cares? You think differently from me, that's fine, that's it. I've said my thing, you've said your thing, well, that's it. If you're in a match where you're just coming back and forth, what a waste of time. Would an elephant do that? I don't think so. So, all right. Don't know where all that came from, but anyway. Let's pull a card from this deck now. This is the Peace Oracle by Tony Carmine Salerno. This one wanted to come in. This usually just talks about a particular quality. So let's have a look at a particular quality that might be particularly prevalent this May. We have the energy of action. We have the energy of blessing on the bottom of the deck. Blessing and action. I think it's sort of what I've been trying to say, which is that there's a bit of luck this month. That if you take action and you put concerted effort into it, and you're like the elephant, it's like, I'm going to make my mark. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be noticed. Not from an egotistical perspective, just in terms of I know my worth. I know I've got something to do or say, or I've got a talent or a skill. I'm just going to plant this into the earth. I'm going to put it out there. It's as though there's blessings coming in on that for those people that are willing to risk it as well, I'm hearing. Those people that are willing to risk it, because the truth is, success, which is the other thing linked into Ganesh, luck and success, and also the energy of the wood dragon, success. Success doesn't come from people that are just never going to put their toe in the water. And then it's certainly not going to come to people who put their toe in the water and then they only stay in that bit of the sea. Oh no. Success comes from qualities that elephants have: grit, determination, strength, endurance, perseverance. Yeah? And a bit like the lion, knowing their worth. So know that there are blessings to come. There is luck to come this month if you're going to put yourself out there. Yeah? I really encourage you to put yourself out there, to believe in yourself, and to do the things that you've been putting off. Okay. Yeah. Right, let's carry on a bit. I think I'd like to go to the wood dragon now. Okay, so the wood dragon. Let's see what the wood dragon has to say. So we're going from elephants to wood dragons. Okay. Why not? Wood dragon. The first thing that's happening as I spray is that I'm wanting to straighten my back and my posture. My posture immediately is changing. It's this thing about stand up and be counted, be proud, own your space, own who you are, don't shirk. face oncoming difficulties and challenges, knowing that you are equipped, you are the magician, to be able to deal with anything that is thrown your way, to not be scared, to not be scared. There's an energy here of conquer. I was sensing this in the collective. I feel as though we've come to a place in our world whereby the agendas, the craziness has got so out of hand. And I'm going to include in that the situation, for example, with regard to the violence in universities in America. I'm for peaceful protest and always will be for peaceful protest, whatever you're protesting about. But as soon as it veers off into something else, you lose my support. They're shooting themselves in the foot, actually, with those protests at the universities. And I know somebody was disagreeing with me on this yesterday on Facebook or something. And my attitude is no, I understand. I can read hate. I know hate when I see it. And I've seen a lot of hate in these protests, a lot of separation, a lot of division. It doesn't feel like a peace protest. So I will call out hate when I see hate, and I'm not taking sides because hate is just hate. And there's just an energy of pushback from that. I feel as though the collective is reaching a tipping point, not just with that, with all sorts of things, with a pushback. It's as though the pendulum is wanting to swing back to a more balanced place. Now, I have to be honest, with Archangel Metatron, he's often a little bit ahead of the game. So I don't know whether this is May, because I feel as though 2024, the world is going to be out of balance for quite a bit longer. But I'm feeling this within myself. And I always talk about change starts within us, starts with the individual. So if I'm feeling it and you're feeling it, it's coming, and it's just coming from a place of no, gonna take action here, gonna lead, going to remind people about what living from the heart actually is, and that actually that looks like hate to me. This that's happening in my country isn't right. This that's happening in that country isn't right. I'm going to stand up and be counted, but I'm not going to stoop to the lowest common denominator and become something lower than I aspire to be. It's that type of energy, yeah? It's that type of energy. That all came in with the wood dragon as well. I feel as though there's the silent majority have been silent for too long on too many things. And I feel as though the tide is starting to turn, and the energy of just common decency and respect for all is going to come back more into the fore. Do I think it's all going to happen this month? No, I don't. But I'm feeling the seeds of it. I'm feeling as though May plants some very positive seeds. Yeah. Okay. Let's pull a card from Metatron. The month of May, please. The month of May. Conquering fear. Oh, yes, of course. Bottom of the deck is leadership. It says answer the call. The elephant. I don't know if you can read it, but it says leadership. Action. Blessing. Leadership. Conquering the fear. Whilst I was shuffling, I don't know if you noticed, but I had a bit of a smile on my face. I just felt this energy of like, well, peace, I suppose, happiness. And then I pulled the card which is about conquering fear, start to date. It's literally as though we've got you. We've got you. It's definitely a month for action. Definitely a month for action. It's definitely a month for leadership. There's luck, there's success, there's protection as well with that Bloodstone energy. We have the tools that we need to make this a good month. Now, I said I was going to pull some cards with regard to this Mars in Aries energy, which is like the Joker in the pack. So let's do that. And let's go to this deck again. Okay, so I'm going to keep using the Insight Tarot. Okay, so aeroplane going overhead as we hear Mars in Aries. I'm not on a flight path either, so just clocking that. Suddenly a lot of noise. It's receding now, but in the air. Spray some white light. Yes, Amanda, you're sitting there thinking, what? I don't know. It's just like there's a weird energy here. As soon as I try and tap into Mars in Aries, it's like a trickster type energy. Of course, Gemini can be linked into trickster energy, as well as many beautiful things. I love Geminis. My dad's a Gemini. One of my best friends is a Gemini. Mars in Aries. Okay, one card. Mars in Aries. What is this? I don't think we're supposed to know, to be honest. Chariot. Chariot arrives unexpectedly, quickly, out of nowhere. You won't be able to see it on the card because it's very, very faint, but there's a moon in the background of the Chariot card here. So that's either going to be the full moon in Sag on the 23rd or the new moon on the 7th, 8th. Set against a city. Don't like the feel of this, to be honest. I mean, Mars and Aries, both quite warlike energies, aren't they? Feels as though something's racing back in. I don't like the energy of it. Mars in Aries. Queen of Swords, Four of Pentacles. I just get the impression that something's been in the planning that wants to come in. But that doesn't mean that it has to. It means that we could thwart that. I don't know what I'm picking up here, guys. Let me put the cards down. See if Metatron can help. Mars in Aries. I just feel this growing sense of light. I can see the sea, and I just see this growing sense of light over it. I don't know. I'm going to pull an animal card. Whether that's going to help or not, I don't know, but I don't know. I'm being blocked from being able to see. We've got the lynx. Yeah, those are the colours I saw, really, because I could see the blue of the sky, the blue of the sea, And the Mars in Aries energy is this orangey reddy colour. I don't know much about the link. Oh, the links is secrets. Ah, okay, that might make sense. That's why I can't tune into it. It's a secret, but it felt as though it was getting closer to being revealed, or there was a secret that's coming. There's a secret that's coming. Okay, yeah, that's resonating. Yeah, it's linked into the trickster type energy. There's a secret that's coming. It says, after man had suffered many famines, interesting, I was talking about the potato famine, the goddess Demeter decided to share the secrets of agriculture with humans. There was a sacred field of wheat grain in Eleusis that when it grew was golden. As it was enchanted, it would grow and prosper, always providing enough to eat. Wow. Yeah, I'm just feeling this growing sense of, I think it's spirit just saying it's going to be okay. There's a warning here about not entertaining gossip, as all may not be what it seems. Be shrewd about who you share your confidential information with. A little mystery can be a good thing, but keeping secrets that are detrimental to others may not be. There is some news worth sharing, but be discerning. Lynx magic can be utilised when you need to keep a secret or stop gossip. It's the perfect magic to weave when you're making a vow to yourself or another. A magic that is wild in its nature but focused in its intent. Ensure you are clear with your intentions up front. Okay, so I think there's a secret coming out, but there's something here with regards to sacred field of wheat that when it grew was golden. Oh, field of dreams. Believe it and they will come. Believe it and they will come. Yeah, it's field of dreams, it's manifestation, it's growth, but there's luck. There's luck on our side. Okay, I'm going to end with one final card, and then we will just see what happens. Okay, well, sorry, they've just flown out before I couldn't even shuffle the deck, and they just flew out. What have we got? We've got Judgment, Resurrection, we've got the Eight of Wands, and we've got the Sun. Yeah, that's what I was feeling. That's why I couldn't say anything. I was just feeling this energy of the sun getting brighter and brighter and brighter on the horizon, and the warmth that was coming. And Eight of Wands, it's coming quickly. But why have we got Judgment? Judgment on those that have been blocking that. It's the resurrection energy. Clarification on Judgment, please. Four of Swords. Nine of Cups. Something was dormant. You see, the thing with Ganesh was that Ganesh got the head of the elephant because Shiva, Parvati, ordered the head of the sleeping giant that was facing the north. They brought back the head of the sleeping giant that was facing the north. It just happened to be an elephant's head. So, what is the sleeping giant of the north? I don't know. There's a sleeping giant of the north. Is it the King Arthur template? Those of you that followed my King Arthur work, we had the Sleeping Lord card, didn't we, for King Arthur? That King Arthur, the energy, the template of that, it's the sleeping giant energy. The sleeping giant of the north. I don't know, but whatever it is, feels good. It feels good. It doesn't feel bad. So, hope you found that interesting. I mean, it was interesting. It wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be, but, you know, my readings never are. I don't do conventional. I get bored with conventional, so it is what it is. I'm going to pull one final card for you from this deck, the Grace cards. Let's have a bit of grace. Grace cards by Cheryl Richardson. Let's see what we get. For the people watching, what are we going to leave them with? I was a bit naughty there. I don't usually do that. I don't know if you saw that. There was a card that flipped out and I thought, I don't want to do that, because I thought that's a whole subject. That's a whole other video in itself. That's why I didn't want to look at it. It's just come out again. Mirror. Oh, but it's nice. I was thinking, oh God, you know, yeah, mirror, all the type of stuff we've talked about before. No, it says, learn to see God's presence in everyone you meet. That's okay. I was going to say we can do that. Can we? Can we? Can you? Do you find that easy? Very few people do. Because we look for people's flaws and what they've done wrong and what they didn't do, rather than the bit of them where God resides. Let's try to do a bit more of that as the clock strikes 12. I am going to leave it there. Much love, everybody. Have a good month ahead. I'll be back very soon with, I think, a spiritual news video is next, and twin flame. I think that needs to be when we get into Gemini season, actually. The longer it's gone on that I haven't done it, I'm feeling Gemini season would be good for that with the twins. Okay, lots of love. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye for now.